most of the Muslims that I have talked with, they feel kind of surprised that immigration and religion are kind of put together, because this is a country which is kind of populated by the immigrants. You can go centuries back, and even coming from the European, they were immigrants here. And then, of course, other people start coming in from the Middle East, from the European countries, from Africa. But nobody pointed out about the religion of the person who was coming in. Sometimes the race counted or the country counted, but nobody says, okay, the Hindus cannot come, or the Jews cannot come, or Sikhs cannot come, or Jain cannot come. These are religious groups, but individual to individual, of course, we can say that there has to be some restriction about some individuals who may become a problem when they come in here. You have to investigate. And even right now, even from the Muslim countries, when somebody wants to come to America as an immigrant, there's a lot of checking going on. The police record is checked, the other backgrounds are checked, and then they are allowed to come in. But presently, when it has been pointed out specifically Muslim countries, and very strangely, the 6, 7 countries that have been picked up right now that no one will come here, none of them has committed any violence from those countries. More violence is being committed here in America by American-born, maybe Muslims or non-Muslims, but the daily killing of each other is done by American to American, you know. So to focus on the religion of Islam and then pick up some Muslim countries is kind of very disheartening, and it's not accepted by the Muslims who are living here to just target only a particular religious group, because then indirectly you are throwing some dirt on the religion, that this religion is not good. And there could be a few exceptions who are good, but we cannot, the whole country which may have millions upon millions of Muslims living there. And if there are a few that are terrorists, we won't want to come them here in America. And that's the attitude right now. In America, we were the Cold War was against communism, if you recall. And then when that Cold War was kind of diminished, somehow we have to pick up another enemy. And years ago, before this thing came up, Islam came up as Islam versus Western countries. And that was the attitude. Now this is the big target that we have to stand up against. Indirectly, that was the thrust going on. But then a very unfortunate situation arose after we attacked Iraq. Iraq had nothing to do with the 9/11 incident. All those people who were alleged to be the criminals were from Saudi Arabia, who is one of the closest friends of America. Iraq, of course, was being run by a dictator, and he was not a good person in that sense. But it had nothing to do as far as America, violence in America is concerned. But for some reason, we don't know why, Iraq was picked up, and it was kind of fully attacked in a way. And such a chaos happened over there without realizing what we're going to do and how we're going to come out of that, because there was a Shia majorities there were Sunnis, and Saddam Hussein was a Sunni group who was ruling. Of course, he was dictator, but at least he had everything under his control. There was no chaos. There was nothing else is happening which is happening here nowadays and in Iraq, millions of people. And that attack on Iraq, which was absolutely wrong, created such a disaster to humanity. Millions upon millions people lost their homes, and widows and orphans and immigrants, they start kind of rising up their numbers of that. That created another internal problem within Iraq. There were some extremist groups who kind of found a vacuum there, because the Saddam Hussein was gone and nobody was accepting Americans to rule over Iraq, and America didn't have that intention to rule Iraq. There was, of course, the oil richness was there, But that vacuum was being picked up and being filled in by the extremist groups. First it was Al-Qaeda, and now it became ISS. And then that created a problem over there. So this extremist hand in Iraq and of course in some other countries has started reflecting on our attitude towards Muslim countries or Muslims as whole. As a Muslim, we are more concerned about those groups than even Americans are, because they're killing more Muslims within their own countries than in America. I came to America in 1969, and I'm American, and my children are grown and they are all American. But in Pakistan, hundreds and thousands of Muslims are being killed every day by the extremists. So much so, one time they went into a school and killed the little children, butchered them. I think more than 400 children were killed. So these are the extremists. They are killing Muslims, and the Muslims, you believe, are not going to react to that. We hate them. We know they are wrong. They are doing something terribly wrong. But at the same time, to bring the whole picture as these are all Muslims and we have to just stop Muslims coming in the country, that's not right. These people call themselves Muslims. Not only Muslims, they say we are the only true Muslims and the rest of the Muslims are not good Muslims, while the case is the other way around. And then of course in this country there is what is known as Islamic phobia. People are scared of the word Islam. Our motto is love for all, hatred for none. We wanted to establish peace and justice, but peace cannot be established unless there is a justice on earth. Wherever there is no justice, there is no peace. From our point of view, peace and love will win in the last run. Of course, we have to stand against extremism, and we have to stand against the fear which is baseless. So we are working on both grounds. You may be aware that we have taken many times steps, concrete steps, to remove these two kind of fears and those two. For example, we have this the True Islam and Extremist campaign going on, and we let everyone know what the True Islam says, and whoever agrees, they come on our side as far as their voice is concerned. Before that, we had Muslims for Peace. That is a campaign still going on, but we had this campaign against terrorism. And as I say, we have more than 70 different communities in the USA, and they go all over. There is one more that you may not be aware, is known as Muslim for Life. We know there were 3,000 people killed on 9/11, which was a tragedy. 3,000 people were killed. They were innocent people. And on the 10th anniversary of that tragedy, we started this campaign, and we said we are going to save 30,000 people every year by donating our blood. So this Muslim for Life is a campaign that we don't, not only the Muslims, but we invite all neighbors, including Jews and Christians and others. We go to churches and we go to the libraries and to the schools and universities, wherever they are ready to donate. But in the month of September, we donate, and we are doing it every year. Every year we are saving 30,000 lives. And this is a very positive step towards removing the fear about Islam and telling them that we are for life, not against life. So there are many other, like Muslims for Loyalty. Those people say we are not loyal. You might have seen on television many soldiers, many other people who are working in the armed forces of America. They are Muslims. They are being killed. We should respect them. And this is another campaign that Ahmadiyya Muslim community is doing, that we are loyal. Our motto is that whichever country you live in, you have to have loyalty to that country. That's important. So therefore, those Muslims who are living in America, they are loyal to America, at least from our perspective. They cannot be Muslims unless they show their loyalty. So these are only a few examples that we have taken concrete steps to remove those kind of feelings and perceptions. I belong to different what is known as interfaith communities here in Houston. And that is great, because Jews, Christian, Muslims, others, we get together, we plan together. Every year we have a kind of dinner for them. We invite other communities from other religions. They come to the mosque, they invite us, and we pick up a topic, we speak positively, we give our own impressions from our own religious perspective. But these interfaith dialogues are very important. We can get together, we can start knowing each other better, and of course we can start appreciating that how much we have in common. Because unless the commonalities are seen in a way, in a positive way, we will be always afraid of each other and kind of maybe hating each other. These kind of interactions will help. But those who come to know how to move forward, then they have to spread the word to the others also. It cannot be done by one person. We have to be more vocal. We have to get involved in the debates if there's any. But the two extreme sides are just heard, and newspaper wants to sell their and their time and their papers, and they pick up something which is sensational. And the moderate people don't give the news which is sensational. They give something which is true, which is common sense, but at the same time doesn't create any big news for them. But still, we have to keep on working, and I am very hopeful that this will happen and this can happen.